Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Sunday, August 17th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Recap. You know you can check me out on the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, the 215 that is spelled out on Twitter, never calling it X. So please don't forget coffee and Patreon. Any and all donations are welcome and accepted, and I'm very, very close to getting monetized on YouTube, but I won't be before you long. So let's check out the week that was, and let's get right into the news. So the WWE and UFC, their merger has been completed. They are now under TKO Holdings Group. Their stock hit an all-time high. They were at the New York Stock Exchange, and some important factors are that they're probably going to keep their media rights deals separate. That would make sense, but there's a chance that Smackdown could move somewhere, as people want that. Live sports is something that's needed, and the top two companies that were probably interested are Amazon and Disney, and there were a plethora of WWE firings this past week. Over 100 employees were let go. One department went from like 40 people to just 3, and TKO are looking to cut costs. The Royal Rumble 2024, it has been announced that it will take place in Tampa Bay at, is it the Raymond James Stadium? It's just taking place in Tampa. Don't know what arena it'll be in. It looks like it's going to be Tropicana Field, where the Tampa Bay Rays play. Heath Slater's contract with Impact is ending soon, but I think he'll re-sign. That's just me. Speaking of someone else whose contract is up soon, looks like Jade Cargill is making her way out of AEW. It looks like she will be moving over to the WWE. That is pure speculation, but a lot of people believe it's going down. Her contract has expired, and she is expected, quote unquote, to start at the Performance Center this week. Jade always seemed more WWE than AEW. She just seems fitted for that. The PWI 500 has been announced, and we have our top 500. We have our top 20. So going from 20 to number 1, Trey Miguel, Bobby Lashley, Alexander Hammerstone, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, Masha Slamovich, Samoa Joe, Carmelo Hayes, Claudio Castagnoli, Sonata, Cody Rhodes, Josh Alexander, Orange Cassidy, Kazuchika Okada, MJF, El Hijo del Vikingo, Gunther, Jon Moxley, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. So the Shield making the top 3. The time period that was recognized is July 1st, 2022 to July 1st, 2023. The key 6 factors that they use to determine the rankings are win-loss record, championship wins, quality competition, major feuds, prominence within the promotion, and overall wrestling ability. And there are 2 things to note about the top 20. One, Masha Slamovich is 15. She's the highest ranking female in the men's list ever. And 2, Will Ospreay at 17 seems criminal. It seems wrong. You got to make it make sense with me. It just doesn't feel right. Matt Riddle was in some sort of situation at JFK Airport. Some reported that he was intoxicated. He got into it with staff. The WWE will be investigating the recent situation. We have no true injury news, so let's move on to the ratings. Collision, 2 weeks ago, the show on the 9th, saw a big hit going against college football. It pulled in 476,000 viewers at the .15 in the 18-49 demo. Raw this past week fell hard against some stiff competition, obviously going up against Monday Night Football. This is nothing new. They pulled in 1.3 million viewers at the .40 in the 18-49 demo. They were going up against the Jets Bills on Monday Night Football. Dynamite this past week pulled in 888,000 viewers with a .31 and an 18-49 demo. That is a little bit up in the viewership from last week. Smackdown pulled in 2.4 million viewers. That is insane. Everything was up from last week. I don't know what they pulled in for. What did they pull in for the demo? They pulled in, was it a .83? I think that was a .83 and an 18-49 demo. That's crazy. Rampage took a big hit. They pulled to 321,000 viewers with a .1 and the 18-49 demo. Rampage just kind of felt like a whatever show. And Collision this past Saturday pulled in 444,000 viewers with a .19, the 18-49 demo. That is the news, and we shall be right back. All right, so let's dive into the week that was Monday Night Raw. This past week gets a fist as we were looking at the Ballad of Jey Uso. So Kevin Owens starts the show, coming out after Jey Uso, and he tells Jey, listen, I understand the position you're in, because I was in a position you got to build up trust. And remember that the only people that welcomed you to Raw were Sami and Cody. The Judgment Day comes out and they say they respect Jey, and Jey offers to be KO's tag team partner. The Judgment Day defeated KO and Jey after Jey accidentally super kicked KO, and KO does not accept his apology. The Miz dominates Akira Tozawa. This was just to get the Miz a win as he's facing LA Knight later on SmackDown. Shayna Baszler declined Chelsea Green's offer to be a partner. She was like, Piper's not coming back, and then of course Piper's back. Gunther celebrates becoming the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion ever. Gable says he will ultimately be the one to defeat Gunther, and Ciampa makes the save after Imperium attacked the Alpha Academy. So it looks like Ciampa's probably going to be like a little side quest for Gunther until ultimately I believe that Gable would be the one to dethrone Gunther. Xavier Woods doesn't appreciate the disrespect that McIntyre showed Kofi, and Xavier acted him on because saying, oh yeah, you won the WWE Championship, but you won it in the Performance Center. Kofi won it at WrestleMania, so I get what you're coming from. They decide to have a match. Drew wins and tells Xavier doesn't have to be like this, and it looks like Drew's going to be turning heel sooner rather than later. He's got some new aggression to him. Drew later confronts Jey and says that he doesn't trust him, and Jey challenges to a match to get whatever off his chest. Cody came out, right? He had an announcement to make, but he's interrupted by Dom and JD McDonough, and Cody just took both of them out. What is Cody's announcement? I think he's going to get traded to SmackDown. Remember they said, well, with Jey coming over to Raw, somebody's going to go to SmackDown. Shayna easily disposes of Chelsea Green. Chelsea's great. I just don't need her losing all these matches. Piper attacks Shayna after the match, but Zoe walked her off, had Shayna's back, and she's just like, yo, get out the ring. So it looks like Shayna and Zoe will be a tag team. Shayna, once again, end up being a tag team champion. She won't be sniffing the women's championship anytime. So we had a Shinsuke Nakamura video package where he called Seth a liar, a deceiver, and a manipulator. Seth in the ring says that's all true, but he's more than that. Now he's he's a father and a husband and yada yada yada, and he's going to be a fighting champion. Shinsuke assaulted Ricochet backstage. Alpha Academy and Ciampa defeated Imperium after Ciampa had Gunther in the Sicilian stretch, which actually in all actuality was the Gargano escape, while Kaiser and the dude is not Luger Kaiser, the bald one, I can't remember his name, Giovanni Vinci tapped out to the ankle lock that Chad Gable held on. The Judgment Day want to put more pressure on Jey. Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch signed their contract for the NXT Women's Championship match on NXT. And Becky, spoiler alert, won. She won. So Becky's now a Grand Slam champion. In the main event, Rhea Ripley defended the Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez, and Nia Jax returned, costing Raquel the match. Rhea retained, and then Nia took out Rhea. So Nia Jax is back. Didn't see that coming. Over on Dynamite, we had the Grand Slam Go Home show. The show gets a fifth. Moxley retained the International Championship, defeating Big Bill. Starks and Bill attack after the match, but Danielson and Claudio made the save. So obviously we're getting a tag match on Collision. Renee interviewed Roddy. Listen, we're all about neck strong, protecting Roddy's neck and telling his story, and the Kingdom have his back. Don Callis now dubs Takeshita the Alpha, and he will be going after Ibushi next, as they're going to tear down Kenny Omega. The BCC challenged Ricky and Big Bill to a match on Collision, Eddie shows up and tells Claudio one more week. Listen, wrestling is real to Eddie, all right? Toni Storm defeated Shida, Nyla, and Britt in a fatal four-way to face Saraya at Grand Slam. This match got under 7 minutes. This was like the only women's segment on the entire show, and I'm really, really angry about it. Saraya and Ruby say that Toni has lost her spot and lost her mind. I actually think Toni might win. Jericho and Sammy essentially hype up their match. This is a really good segment. This could be possibly one of the most anticipated matches for Grand Slam. MJF, this is from last week after Joe beat his ass, pretty much did some Steiner math. First he came at Roddy, called him Roddy the Simp Strong, and then he did some Steiner math, and he did it beautifully. Steiner math would never get. Listen to the crowd. They knew what was going on. Hangman Page, Brian Cage, round 3. Hangman Page won. This was really, really good. Swerve tells Hangman that, of course, he runs back to the Elite once again, at the Mogul Embassy isn't done with him yet. Brian Cage attacks, but the Young Bucks made the save. Don Callis tries to recruit Garcia, and Garcia just dances him off, but Callis wants it. Darby Allin and Nick Wayne defeated 2.0. Christian, after the match, came out and does what Christian does. He says, yo, I went through Nick Wayne, I went through your mom's Instagram page, not enough bikini pics, that he and Luchasaurus will face Darby and Wayne at Grand Slam. And in the main event, Samoa Joe defeated Roderick Strong to advance to the final match, and will take on MJF at Grand Slam. So this was good. Roddy so him and the Kingdom are leaving. They're offering him a neck brace. He declines it, but then he sees Adam Cole walking down the ramp, and he falls to the ground and starts screaming about his neck. And does a stretcher job. It's crazy. And the Kingdom just brush off Adam Cole. And then Joe chokes out Cole on the stage. So this was funny. It was a weird way to end Dynamite, but I liked it. Impact. We had Impact 1000, the 1000th episode. And a fun fact, Trinity has been a part of the 1000th episode of Raw, SmackDown, and Impact. That's pretty awesome. But the show gets a thumbs up. So we opened up with Scott D'Amore, who says we got a 2-week celebration of Impact, which we're all here for. Introduces Gail Kim. And then we have past and present knockouts show up, including Gail Kim, Awesome Kong with Raisha Saeed, Jordan Grace, Trinity, a returning Mickie James, The Beautiful People, Deonna Purrazzo, Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, and Tasha Steelz all come out. They have words, and this sets up a 10-woman tag match next week for Impact. So it will be Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, Jordan Gage, Trinity, and Mickie James versus The Beautiful People. Versus Angelina Love, Deonna Purrazzo, Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, and Tasha Steelz. Shark Boy returns because it's Shark Boy. What's Impact without Shark Boy? Yuya Uemura, Joe Hendry, PCO, Kevin Knight, Kushida, Moose, Brian Myers, Crazy Steve, Black Taurus, Johnny Swinger, Sami Callihan, Heath, Steve Macklin, ABC, The Good Hands, Jonathan Gresham, Gujar, Jay Vidal, and Laredo Kid all compete and feast or fire with Chris Bass, Crazy Steve, Yuya Uemura, and Moose all getting briefcases. You don't remember what the Feast of Fire is. 3 of the briefcases contain title shots, and 1 briefcase contains a pink slip. Speculation, I think Yuya Uemura is the one to get the pink slip. Chris Sabin says he'll defeat Leo Rush later in the evening. Team 3 reunites to defeat the Desi Hit Squad. Josh Alexander interrupted by Alex Shelley. Alexander's like, yo, don't meet your heroes. Shelley's like, yo, I want this match to prove that I am better. Then they have some words. The Rascals attack Josh Alexander, and Alex Shelley does nothing. He's like, yo, I don't need to help you. Frankie Xavier and Tracy defeated Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards. This was a good match to end their feud, and Tracy will be going into the Impact Hall of Fame. And in the main event, Chris Sabin defeated Lio Rush to become the X Division champion for, I don't know, like the 11th time, I believe. Over on SmackDown, listen, this is the People Show. All right, this show gets 2 thumbs up. And it was a solid show. They went over time for one main reason. That's because Pat McAfee comes out, returns. They were in Denver, and he was up the street because they were ESPN Game Days preparing for the Colorado versus Colorado State game that took place Saturday night. So Pat McAfee comes out, hypes up SmackDown. Austin Theory comes out. Clearly, remember, he has beef with Pat McAfee. And then McAfee's like, listen, this is the People Show, not Austin Theory Live. You know what that means? If you smell, yeah, The Rock returned. Yeah, it's The Rock. It's SmackDown. This was great. He took a long ass time to get to the ring, but the segment was really good. Him and Austin went at it. Theory, not Stone Cold. Theory told Rock that, you know, I'm the real Austin. He did The Rock, it doesn't matter what you says or think. It was good, but in the end, he took a people's elbow from The Rock and Pat McAfee. Finn Balor defeated AJ with an assist from Jimmy Uso. The Rock and Cena hug it out, and this was the last time we saw The Rock. He does not interact with Jimmy or Solo. And Roman Reigns wasn't on the show. That's crazy. It annoys me so much. You could have planted some seeds for something. Finn tries recruiting Jimmy for the Judgment Day and says, like, yo, there's no leaders, which kind of perked up Jimmy's ears. Paul Heyman was watching. Ray offers Santos a U.S. title match, but Santos accepts. Lashley the Prophets to defeat the LWO, because the LWO never win matches. LA Knight defeated The Miz, and he made it known that he's coming for gold, and he doesn't care who holds gold. That means Ray or Gunther or Seth or Roman Reigns. And right after that, we go backstage, and Paul Heyman tells Solo that LA Knight is starting to become a problem. And Solo says, so deal with it. Heyman also says that even though Jimmy's in our bloodline, he's not in the bloodline, and he's causing problems for the bloodline. And Solo says, so deal with it. But Heyman's like, yo, Roman didn't give the order. So what do you mean you're going to deal with it? And Solo walks off. Oh, I want this Roman Solo fight so bad. Pretty Deadly are back. Prince is still healing from an injury, but they're just good. So can I get a yes, boys? Yes, boys. Asuka defeated Bayley when Shotzi scared Bayley, and we ended with the Grayson Waller effect with John Cena. So Waller is pretty much egging Cena on, disrespecting him. Cena never gets a word in. I don't think Cena said anything this entire segment. Cena takes his hat off, prepares to fight. Jimmy comes out, and he's still angry at what Cena said last week. Solo comes out, steps to Cena, prepares to attack Jimmy, but then kicks Cena. So Solo and Jimmy start attacking Cena. Styles comes out, makes the save, and Heyman, who is on the phone with Roman Reigns, yells to Solo, "Go save Jimmy." Solo reluctantly did it. So this is good. This was an awesome SmackDown. This was great. Over on Rampage, the Hardys and Lucha Brothers defeated Team Jarrett and the Butcher and the Blade. I wish the Butcher and the Blade would win matches. I really, really do. I'm a big fan of the team. The Righteous attacked the Hardys on the entrance ramp. Britt wants Kris in the TBS title, so she'll get a championship match against either Jade or Kris on Collision. QTV, once again, I love QTV, and I'm wondering if Johnny TV is trying to take over QTV from QT Marshall. The Kingdom defeated Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels. Neck strong is all about neck awareness. The Mogul Embassy versus Young Bucks will happen at Grand Slam. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn defeated the Outrunners and Peter Avalon. The Dark Order want the title shot. They are tired of good things happening to bad people, and they say the Acclaimed are bad people. Aussie Open had a squash match. They want FTR. Kris Statlander in the main event defeated Jade, Cargill retaining the TBS championship. This is probably Jade's best match ever. Over on Collision, we had the Grand Slam go-home show. Ricky Starks and Big Bill defeated Claudio and Bryan Danielson. The Hung Bucks accept the Mogul Embassy's challenge. Powerhouse Hobbs goes to the book of Hobbs once again. This time was all about destruction. Miro will not be tempted by his hot and flexible wife. CJ Perry is pretty hot. FTR retained against the Iron Savages. This match was really, really quick. FTR accepts the Workhorsemen's challenge. I'm hoping that match gets a little bit more time because JD Drake can go. Aussie Open was watching backstage because they won FTR. They won the tag team championships. John Silver defeated Anthony Bowens with an assist from Evil Uno. So it looks like the Dark Order will be getting a trios championship match. Wrestling isn't fake to Eddie. Now, what he said was 50-50. It's like, yo, I'm behind you, Eddie. But also what you said makes you the bad guy. And I don't know if I should be cheering for you. Hook and Cassidy will be teaming up at some point. Aussie Open won the squash match. Toni Storm is awesome. She had like this weird sit-down interview with, I forget the RJ City. And she's just leaning into this star classic debutante gimmick, and it's been working for her. Andrade defeated Scorpio Sky, and Bullet Club Gold arrived, and Jay White wants a piece of Andrade. The Righteous defeated the Hardys, and now the Righteous wants the Ring of Honor tag team titles. RVD will return. Take 22. Somebody messed but Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty, who's now part of Shane Taylor Promotions, won a piece of Keith Lee. Ricky Starks challenges Bryan Danielson to a Texas death match next week on Collision. And in the main event, thank JBL, Kris Statlander retained the TBS Championship, defeating Britt Baker. Woo! So, Dynamite was good. Rampage and Collision were a little bit up and down. Smackdown was great. Impact was great. Definitely check out Impact and Smackdown from this past week. Our matches of the week from Raw: Drew McIntyre versus Xavier Woods, and also from Raw, the Alpha Academy and Tommaso Ciampa versus Imperium. From NXT, llja Dragunov versus Wes Lee. From Impact, Chris Sabin versus Leo Rush for the X Division Championship. And from Rampage, Kris Statlander defending the TBS Championship versus Jade Cargill. Kris Statlander main event at Rampage and Collision. Build up Chris. Do it. I love it. And our star of the week, it was tough. I could have given it to Jimmy. I could have given it to Austin Theory. I'm going to give it to two people. I'm going to give it to the crowd from SmackDown and also Kris Statlander. The crowd from SmackDown got Cena, The Rock, and Rey Mysterio all in one day. All in one show. And Kris Statlander has just been on a roll. She's just been killing it. 2 main events, back-to-back shows, defending her championship, getting multiple wins. Yeah, build up Kris, because she is awesome. But that is our show. Thank you as always for listening, for watching. Next week on the High Risk Wrestling Podcast, we will be looking at the dark times of Impact. It got bad for a point, and we know what they are. We're going to talk about it, see what went wrong. We know what went wrong, but we got to dive into it, because we're celebrating Impact, but we also got to show them the love they deserve and some of the scorn. And as always, check me out on the socials: Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, the 215 on Twitter, Coffee, Patreon. That's our show. I will see you next week. Peace.